Man shall take up arms. Arms are the upper limbs of the body, one opposed on the left and the other opposed on the right. For arm is derived from the Latin root arma, which means weapon, and the body of mankind is armed on the left and armed on the right, so that Satan's rule may be brought to an end. For the body of mankind was divided in two arms, by Sarai and Hagar from the beginning. Abram went into Hagar, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her sight. And Sarai said to Abram, May the wrong done me be upon you. I gave my maid into your arms. But when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her sight. May the Lord judge between you and me. But Abram said to Sarai, Behold, your maid is in your power. Do to her what is good in your sight. So Sarai treated her harshly, and she fled from her presence. Genesis 16:1. Yet the Father stretched out his arm to his people. I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will deliver you from their bondage. I will also redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. Then I will take you for my people, and I will be your God. And you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who brought you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. Exodus 6:2. And the Father gave power of arms to his people. The eternal God is a dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he drove out the enemy from before you and said, Destroy. Deuteronomy 33:26. For the Father armed his people in the desert. Moses spoke to the people, saying, Arm men from among you for the war, that they may go against Midian, to execute the Lord's vengeance on Midian. 1,000 from each tribe of all the tribes of Israel you shall send to the war. So there were furnished from the thousands of Israel 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. Numbers 31:1. And God promised his people that if they armed themselves, they would inherit the land. Numbers 32:20. Yet the exiles would not arm themselves with the arm of God's mighty strength. Thus they failed to inherit the land. For by their sword they did not possess the land, and their own arm did not save them, but your right hand and your arm, and the light of your presence, for you favored them. Psalms 44:2. But the Lord would give his arms to Joshua, to conquer and inherit the land. Go forward and march around the city, and let the armed men go on before the ark of the Lord. So the people shouted, and priests blew the trumpets. And when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, the people shouted with a great shout, and the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight ahead, and they took the city. Joshua 6:6. For an army is an organized military force, and when the arms of men are united, they form the armed might of the nations. Yet despite the armed might of the nations, God has the power to destroy any nation. For the Lord smote Pharaoh's great army. The waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, even Pharaoh's entire army that had gone into the sea after them. Not even one of them remained. Exodus 14:28. And the Lord has the power to strengthen any army. For the Lord gave Gideon's army of 300 men the power to slaughter 100,000. When they blew 300 trumpets, the Lord set the sword of one against another, even throughout the whole army. And the army fled as far as Beersheba towards Zererah, as far as the edge of Abel Meholah by Tabbath. Judges 7:19. And an armor is a plate of metal, which gives armed men protection in battle. But even the finest of armors must be tested in battle. for David had not tested his armor in battle. So David said to Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not tested them. And David took them off. 1 Samuel 17:39. For an armor must be tested to be true, and the truest tested armor is the armor of light. The night is almost gone, and the day is near. Therefore let us set aside deeds of darkness, and put on the armor of light. Romans 13:12. For the armor of light is the truth and the word, and it is through the armor of God that he arms us with power and might. Put on the full armor of God, so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. Therefore take up the full armor of God, so that you will be able to resist in the day of evil, and have done everything to stand firm. Ephesians 6:14. And now that the time draws near, a summons has been called for the armies to battle. Jeremiah 51:1. And the Lord will cause his voice of authority to be heard, and the descending of his arm to be seen in fierce anger, and in the flame of a consuming fire in cloudburst, downpour, and hailstones. Isaiah 30:30. For the arms of the wicked will be broken, but the Lord sustains the righteous. Psalms 37:16. And the righteous will be raised by God's mighty arm. Behold, the Lord God will come with might, with his arm ruling for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his recompense before him. Isaiah 40:9. The Lord has bared his holy arm in the sight of all the nations, that all the ends of the earth may see the salvation of God.